CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
Good evening, I'm Andrew Johnson. Hudson Mack is off tonight. There has been a setback in the investigation into the death of a Salt Spring Island man in Mexico. Police said they had identified one of the masked men who shot 68-year-old Robin Wood point blank. But tonight, police have cleared that man. 68-year-old Wood was gunned down earlier this week during a home invasion. Police say they have no leads, but have more than 60 officers working on the case. The two men remain at large. Wood was standing less than a meter from one of the robbers in a house near the resort town of Malaki when the gunman pulled the trigger. Wood was shot because he refused to hand over his backpack. Police thought they had a suspect, but ended up clearing that man.
We're still going to the crime scene continuously. We're looking for clues, hoping the suspect will return. We have 6 officers working the case full-time. Everybody's a suspect right now.
The prosecutor says Wood's body has been returned to a relative. Wood's family says it is slowly coming to terms with the loss. His granddaughter says they won't be holding any grudges against the popular tourist destination.
My impression is that the police are taking it very seriously down there, and that it's a crime to them too, and it's not just something that they're not taking seriously. I think it's affected the whole town, and not just the people that are foreigners. I think it's the locals are devastated by this tragedy as well. You can't, I mean, it's a horrible, horrible thing, and I'm devastated, but I can't be mad at Mexico about it because it's not fair.
Wood's granddaughter says she'd like to go back to Mexico and visit where she last saw him. In a developing story out of Mexico at this hour, there are reports another Canadian has been killed in yet another resort town. Mexican police say a former UBC student has been found dead. Details are still coming in, but reports say the woman was studying in Mexico and has been missing since Friday. Saanich police are looking for your help in locating a 31-year-old Saanich woman who was last seen on New Year's Eve. Police say Vanessa Ann Chin was last seen by her grandmother on December 31st. She's described as Asian, about 5'6", with a slender build. She has short, dyed blonde hair and was wearing a green-colored hooded sweatshirt and a black jacket. She also had on blue jeans, brown boots, and possibly a black backpack. If you've seen Vanessa or know where she is, call Saanich Police. If taking a greener approach was on your list of New Year's resolutions, you may want to look at this. A Victoria dealership is offering up a new way to reduce your carbon footprint. 3 Point Motors is featuring an electric smart car for the month of January. The eco-friendly vehicle can reach speeds up to 120 kilometers an hour and never needs an oil change. And instead of fueling up, you just plug it in at home. The car even uses kinetic energy going downhill to charge itself.
For about 100 kilometers, it's going to cost you between $2 and $2.50. So if you're doing 100 kilometers a day, you do 10 days worth of driving, it's $25 It's pretty cheap. Roughly right now on this generation here, this isn't the exact generation that we're getting in the spring, but it's going to last about between 140 to 160 kilometers on a full charge.
In the spring, the dealership will get the 3rd generation of the electric smart car. On average, the vehicle costs anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000. This is not the first rollout of a mass-produced electric car in the capital region. So if you can't wait for the 2013 smart car, there is another option. Nissan dropped the Leaf in November. The car maker says you can get 160 kilometers per charge, and it is available for purchase at your local dealer now. If you own a Chevy Volt, there is a recall you need to know about. General Motors is asking owners of the electric car to return it to fix a problem with batteries catching on fire. GM says steel needs to be added to a set of plates protecting the batteries. There were 3 cases of batteries catching on fire in government crash tests last year. The company is hoping these repairs will fix the defect. A northern Vancouver Island man has rolled up his sleeve for the 450th time to donate blood platelets. It's a milestone most donors don't meet, especially when they live nearly 5 hours away from the donation center. But Brent Adamowski is committed. He started donating in 1985, right after his daughter was born. She was healthy, but another little baby in the hospital was not. He saw the baby endure multiple surgeries and wanted to do something to help. He registered to become a platelet donor and has been helping to save lives ever since.
To see these parents and what they're going through with this young child, and I just felt that it was something that You know, something that I could do.
One of the things that we find with certain patients, such as pediatric patients as well as cancer patients, is their immune systems are very low and they need to have a high dosage of platelets from one donor. And that's why we have a specialized platelet clinic where donors are giving just their platelets, not any other part of their blood.
When Adamowski lived in the Lower Mainland, regular appointments at the platelet clinic were easy, but then he moved to Cole Harbour near Port Hardy. Still, he makes the 5-hour trip to Vancouver as often as he can.
Every time I come to the mainland to visit friends or family, I always phone up and see if I can get an appointment or have them put me on the cancellation list. Think of not so much how you're going to be discomforted, think of how it's benefiting the person who's in that dire situation.
For information on how to become a platelet or blood donor, visit blood.ca.